Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. My name is Helmet Fire. Today we have to do what is going to be our bookend video for the Ubisoft drama, whatever you want to call it. We finally had something happen with the buyout talks and all this stuff. So in this video, we're going to break it down, but do me a favor, hit the like button, subscribe, bell notifications, all those things because it really helps out. And we're going to be covering, of course, variety, gaming, news, current events, all that stuff, and giving my opinions because they are the most important. I'm just kidding. Anyway, we're going to be doing this. And by the way, the reason you're seeing chat here is because we record this stuff live during stream during our premium segment on Rumble. So if you're not already a Rumble premium user, there's tons of early access content you can get from me and see it early first on Rumble Premium. And you can use code CREATOR for a discount on that too on the annual plan, I believe. So with that out of the way, let's talk about the shit show that is Ubisoft. So just a little recap of where, this is pretty straightforward recap. Ubisoft sucks as a company and they've been fucking it up for the last, I don't know, decade. Lots of DEI, lots of stupid shit that gamers really don't want. And it has forced them to make this move. Now, this was in the works for a long time. And I think they were just waiting on Assassin's Creed Shadows to get out in the world and see the numbers to get a final valuation. But here's what they did. Basically, they created a new subsidiary with Tencent to put Assassin's Creed, Rainbow Six, and Far Cry in this new subsidiary. And what has happened is all the top brass is making out with golden parachutes on this deal because Tencent's getting a 25% majority stake in this new subsidiary and will have control over these IPs moving forward. Meanwhile, Ubisoft, the company, gets stuck holding the empty bag, as it were, and their stock is plummeted to basically zilch. Let's see, it says here, France company stock fell at least 11, almost 12% after all this. Ubisoft was trading, well, okay, that's trading numbers. And then shortly after the deal was announced, multiple employees reached out to express worry about layoffs. Now, look, at the time of this recording, layoffs have not been announced at Ubisoft yet, but it really, by all analysts' accounts, seems to be imminent. Ubisoft, when it closes, Ubisoft will maintain 75% control of the new company that includes Assassin's Creed, Rainbow Six, and Far Cry. Hold on. Ubisoft says it expects the deal with Tencent for the new subsidiary to be complete. This is saying that Ubisoft will maintain 75% control of the company of the new subsidiary. I thought Tencent was the majority shareholder. Anyway, I read it somewhere. There's a bunch of articles on it. It essentially it's actually, from a business standpoint, it was a really smart move. They basically bundled up their most valuable IPs in this new subsidiary, and that subsidiary is at, with those IPs is actually worth more money now than they were previously being under just the Ubisoft umbrella. Really smart tactical move business wise, but it totally screws all these Ubisoft employees that are not part of this new subsidiary and won't be carried over because for a lot of reasons. Number one, there's probably going to be a lot of layoffs, and number two, their stock. Most of these employees that, like, if any of them that have stock options or stocks that are part of 401k plans or anything, their stock just went to shit. So they're left with worthless ass stock, compared to what it was like, 7-8 years ago plus. So it's, man, like it's one of those things. Like, I understand it, right? From a business perspective, it's very smart. It's very intelligent. It was a very 5D chess move that they spent a lot of time working on, many, many months, maybe longer. And but at the same time, it again, a lot of the internet seems to think that there's probably going to be some substantial layoffs, coming soon. And that, look, it's hard. It like as a consumer, it's hard to have sympathy when they've just been feeding garbage games or garbage narratives pushed in their games for years and years at this point. Let's not even talk about DEI narratives. Let's that's its own problem, right? And that's being addressed in the gaming communities voicing their opinions on that pretty loudly. But let's just talk about the last 10 years of Ubisoft launches and their games. They're just broken, messy, buggy. Like that's not new. That's just become the norm. Like they have been it's a terrible it's been ran horribly, and you can't expect to go on indefinitely without repercussions like this. The shitty thing about it is that again the higher ups made a really smart business deal to keep themselves, you know, in the money as it were, and a lot of these other staff are left holding the bag, and it's like, so I don't advocate, I don't like anybody losing their jobs, but at the same time, if you're constantly producing shit or you're constantly producing and enforcing narratives and types of things in games that shouldn't be there in the first place, I it's harder for me to sympathize, but it's a tough one, right? Because really in these situations I think it's just better to point the finger at leadership roles, because leadership roles are the ones that make the decisions to give the final, green light on launching the products with the content in them, right? The designers, the map designers, the concept artists, they might have their stances one way or the other about different, narratives and topics and things like that. But if they're not the ones making the decisions, then they can't really be held liable for that. And so it sucks to see people like that lose their job when they're not the decision makers. But you get what I'm saying, right? Like it's that slippery slope thing of like, we as gamers and consumers are sick of the bullshit of busted ass games charging microtransactions for single player games. It's Ubisoft has been very egregious in that department, obviously, and just and in all the narratives and the DEI stuff, and it's just this compounding thing that's been going on for the last decade. And yeah, and now we're in this situation where they kind of the top brass gets to float away with like a lot of money. The new subsidiaries worth a lot. There is one silver lining I'll leave you with though before we wrap this particular video up, which is Tencent is not known for promoting what we here in the West have been seeing as DEI problems. Like Tencent is not gonna, as far as we can tell, they're not interested in that kind of crap. So hopefully this means that moving forward, all the IPs that are under that subsidiary, which as far as I know is just Rainbow Six, Far Cry, and Assassin's Creed, they're three biggest ones. Hopefully it means that those franchises moving forward will be devoid of any of that bullshit. That's what I would like to see. I think most of the consumer markets would agree because, again, numbers don't lie. All the people on the internet that, are pro DEI and pro woke and all this stuff, they're the loudest online, but they are not the majority. And if you go and look at the Steam charts, the sales numbers in Japan for Assassin's Creed Shadows, the numbers do not lie. Consumers in mass reject that shit wholesale. So don't let the internet fool you on this stuff. Now, look, if you like that kind of stuff, hey, you do you. That's the power of, freedom. And especially here in America, like spend your money how you want. You know what I'm saying? I'm not telling you what to spend your money on, but I'm just saying the numbers don't lie and people are sick of the bullshit. But anyway, this is what happened with Ubisoft. They created this new subsidiary for Assassin's Creed, Rainbow Six, and Far Cry games. Tencent owns a 25% stake, which is supposedly like I read somewhere there's a majority stake, but I don't know. Um, Remains to be seen how these franchises will go moving forward. Let's hope it's for the better, and let's hope the quality standards are better, and let's hope to freaking almighty that they don't keep doing microtransaction city and charging people microtransactions for single player games. Stupid, Just please let these games be better, and just, you know, let's let's make gaming great again. Can we? Appreciate it. Anyway, comment, like, subscribe, bell notifications. You know the whole drill. Appreciate you guys for being here. And that, my friends, will end this particular video. But if you're on the live stream, stay tuned. Have a good one, everybody.
Helmet Fire.